Back, ladies and gentlemen, it's the one-on-one part of the War 3 Champions Finals, and we have a round of 16. And oh my god, what a match for a round of 16. But first, before we introduce the players, we introduce our new added caster, Mr. Remo. Demo is back from the boat. Glad you made it, buddy.
That's right, fellas. I got very little tan, but I got a lot of alcohol in case you guys were wondering. And I survived. I fell into the water once or twice, but I came out. I conquered mountains. I conquered scooters. I conquered all of Sardinia. And I'm glad to be back here alongside you. Unfortunately, I missed the first weekend of this wonderful tournament. War 3 Champions holds a dear place in our hearts for basically everyone in the Warcraft 3 community. And I'm glad to be part of the second round. And I think it's wonderful that Hubert is also here with us. And I'm trying to remember if, Hubert, you and I, did we ever co-cast outside of Raraland? To be fair, we didn't co-cast at Raraland.
I was going to say,
at an event, so to speak.
Yeah, we've never co-cast on any stream.
Oh my god, it's gonna be our first
So
time.
excited!
Well, maybe Hubert can do Remo Demo here a little favor and recap the first weekend of the War 3 Champions one-on-one section to get him up to speed.
Sure thing, Neo. Right, let me cast my mind back to last week and remember how these matches went. So, Focus and Sonic, pretty entertaining match, but ultimately quite one-sided. Focus there, just far too strong for Sonic, who was obviously the underdog in that particular match. Foggy Hawk, also a fun series. Foggy bring out the Mass Huntress AP. Well, did he actually build some APs? I can't quite recall. Maybe one or two. But he did Huntress push Hawk twice, which worked out incredibly successfully. The map that Hawk did win was pretty interesting indeed. I can't remember the map exactly, Neo, but in any case, Foggy taking that there fairly easily. And then Focus Foggy, pretty great series. What can we say? It was nicely varied, pretty close. Came down to the wire, but Focus there taking that 3-2. Sock and Todd, an interesting matchup indeed. Unfortunate to find two humans facing each other in the early rounds, but it brought about some pretty interesting games. Todd playing, I think, really well in the first two maps, kind of narrowly losing out due to losing his expansion in both those first games, but managing to drag it out into a really late game scenario that was pretty entertaining with lots of tier 3 human action, Remo, which you missed, unfortunately, my friend. And yeah, the third game there, pretty one-sided for Sock, him claiming that match. Sock Laliat, of course, two friends, two massive competitors going against each other. Pretty odd match, I think we could all agree that Laliat played pretty interesting with a Beastmaster first, a Dark Ranger first, and a Panda first. Not working out too successful with the Taverniers. Perhaps it's time to go back to the drawing board with the Warden.
Ooh, that would be quite something I would appreciate. I also appreciate our players for today. We have two more sets of 4 players to make up the second semi-final to join Focus and Sock there. Today, Happy LeMay, and our first match is Kaho versus Labyrinth. What a banger of a match that is. And we have the two players here already. Kaho on the left-hand side, Labyrinth on the right-hand side, cleaning ears, I guess. No, it's just adjusting the headphones. Adjusting the headphones is what he does. Remo, do we have a favorite in this best of 5?
Kaho. If he can stop the expansion, it's Kaho all the way, baby.
All right. I am very curious to how these two are playing this, because especially Labyrinth displaying a very unique style in this matchup. Sometimes even dashing out the tower pushes recently, which we haven't seen too much before in Warcraft 3 history. I really hope that Kaho is ready for this, but we are certainly ready for our game that is beginning. So without further ado, everybody, Labyrinth versus Kaho in the best of 5.
Yeah, we've been seeing quite of trickery and shenanigans and tomfoolery from the Undeads recently, from everybody aside from Happy. It seems like you can fast expand, you can tech, you can play gargoyles, you can go standard, you can also go for tower pushes, especially if it's a Demon Hunter first. Demon Hunter was the star of the patch for like 2 months, but the nerf hammer has struck again. It seems like Immolation now it's been a bit, literally away. So I haven't seen all the games, but from most games that I've seen recently, Immolation doesn't seem to be so popular anymore. But you know who's still popular with some players? The Demon Hunter himself. Kaho has always been a huge fan. Just like Colorful as well. And I would expect still some Demon Hunter play here to be seen in this match.
And Demon Hunter it is. With Immolation on this map, you can creep like crazy at the Mer camp, at the Murlocs, you know it. And the first item is his passive, actually. So Talisman of Evasion gives him the evasion skill. Can he burn through the expansion? That is basically the task for the early game. How do you stop Labyrinth and his second bases?
Yeah, it's very hard to stop on some maps, especially on this one, and also Tidehunters probably. And you can try to do it with the Demon Hunter. Creep the green camp first, then run to the opponent with Immolation. But if you creep the Merc camp first, there's absolutely no way of stopping the Undead expansion. Maybe you can try to find a window with a Telestaff or something, but that is rather unreliable. So Labyrinth found just with the Acolyte Scout at the beginning, they can easily expand, and I think it's exactly the opening he was hoping for. But the Demon Hunter is getting a nice head start with the creeping and the experience getting very fast, close to level 3, as is the norm here on this map.
Exactly, as I see that our overlay is pretty bugged out, same as you had before, Remo. So little overwhelmed with technical issues here, but we'll get there in a bit.
A player's forces are under attack.
The expansion here is still not started by Labyrinth, so it is a fast expansion, but not even giga fast, as Moon would say. We want to get the Narrow Tower up first, and it's going to be a super potent weapon all the way beyond the mid game, especially against the Demon Hunter. One of the best things you can have, this movement speed, slow, can force us around maybe. At the moment, the Demon Hunter doesn't even have the Telestaff yet to get out. Or boots. I would highly recommend boots. I'm a big fan of boots, in case you guys didn't know, especially the Demon. But what Kao really is trying to achieve is to distract from his own expansion and make sure his Tree of Life finishes, and this is going to be the first crucial moment of the game. Ghouls are coming, trying to get the cancel. Nile of units are defending. Who's going to come out on top?
Ooh, this is big. This is real big. Lots of piercing damage coming in, of course. But so far, the ghoul movement is pretty spectacular. Here comes the DK with no mana anymore, though. Detonate, gets rid of the skeletons. Both players are executing this on a pretty high level.
Yeah, and I think this favors Kaho. Expansion finishes, no units went down, maybe even gets a ghoul or two, and it's level 3 on the Demon, who sacrilegiously didn't get boots, but still will have a chance to get some later. And yeah, if the expansion, the counter expo finishes in a timely manner like we see here, then he's in a decent spot. He's got the faster tech, will have the second hero way earlier. The expansion later, yes, but most likely it's going to come down more to hero levels. We've seen some games in the past where the Undead was really willing to invest a lot, lose a lot of ghouls to cancel the expansion as much as he could. And the fact that Labby couldn't delay the expansion at all, and his DK is lower experience, I would say Kao is a bit of a lead now.
Yeah, with the pressure that he can apply with that Demon Hunter and the Mercs for sure, but economically, Labby is ahead from this moment on until the Tree of Life arrives at the bottom right. And Kao, but he's already so filthy rich. He's saving a lot of resources despite going for the Mercs and despite going for the Archers, just showing how comfortable he is in the position right now.
Yeah, loving the play by Kaho. You know, when you play on ladder 24/7 like he does and you've faced Happy like 300 times, you learn a thing or two. And I feel like this has really been evident in his playstyle against Undead. I think this is perhaps his strongest matchup, although his Elf Mirror, I think, is also really good. But normally, against Undead, I've seen him perform quite well indeed. We'll see how it goes here in this best of 5. In our first map of the series, looks like we're shaping up for this to be a long game and to be a macro 2 base game. There's a decision ahead of Labby right now. Is he going to play Gargoyles and play the crazy turtle-style triple crypt mask Arcs 100 supply with Dreadlord and all that? We see that from Happy, but that's very hard to play perfectly. Or does he have something else planned?
Panda second, so he's aware that it's gonna be a lot of damage on both of these first heroes, but both have the mobility to run away and get to safety. Can you creep this Panda against the mass that is coming from Labby? That's the question. So far, we have a second crypt, building also another shop at the bottom left. That's interesting. But so far, very little pressure on onto the Night Elf. Hope that's about to change.
Yeah, I think with the Panda here creeping, if he gets fast level 3 and Dryad soon to be coming, I don't really think there's a window for Labby to actually be aggressive. He's got the faster expansion, but he needs the tech most importantly. Undead, more so than any other army, any other race, is dependent on tier 3. With tier 3, he can go for a timing if he wants to, but before that, I don't think it's going to be possible. Tier 3 is coming, and so is the Lich and the second crypt you mentioned earlier. Not a third crypt, so no Gargs. It is Fiends, it's going to be Statues and Destroyers. We'd love to see a second Slaughterhouse. Oh, he does. Double Slaughterhouse. Nice. And now Kao has to scout this and get ready for the push, because with a playstyle like this, especially with the Panda getting ahead in experience, it's most likely that Labyrinth is going to look for a push around 70 supply once his tier 3 is fully up.
Yeah, it is Fiend, so we say goodbye to any Garg shenanigans. And the late games here between Night Elf... Oh, Invis? The late game between Night Elf and Labyrinth are pretty explosive, waiting for the last hit. Couldn't do it, but he got the item, I think. Or did he not?
No, Panda got it.
Ah, Panda got it. Quick fingers on Kao's side. Sorry, this new overlay is still very confusing to me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that the inventory is, let's say it, a minimalist design. we gotta squint our eyes a bit here. But yeah, this is looking pretty smooth so far for Kao. Honestly, so much of this game comes down to the early game and the expansion. And I think this is where Labyrinth made the biggest mistake. He got distracted by the Demon Hunter too much. Remember in the bottom left, when the Demon Hunter was just buying time and the Narrow Tower was coming up, he should have ignored the Demon Hunter, run across the map, and cancel the expansion. But the expansion did finish. Oh, got the item. This time the Demon picks it up. And the DK, I mean. You need to use the heal scroll there to survive. That's a big item already out the mix, but having the big invuln is certainly nice. But experience lead is enormously nice.
Exactly. This almost seems unsolvable from here on out. Labyrinth needs great shop control for heal scrolls and invo potions especially, and he needs to mass a big army. His macro is on point, constantly using all the available gold for his expensive units. Statues, Fiends, of course, and desperately waiting for the tier 3, but level 3 Panda has arrived.
Kao was also able to bank a decent amount, 900 gold, waiting to break. A bit more wisp support maybe for more lumber. And he's making more wisps breaking now. He knows he's in a good position. He just must make sure not to be too greedy to get just washed away by the big undead army. It's okay if he's 5 to 10 supply behind Kaho, but he doesn't want to be further behind than that.
Yeah, level Lich, Lich of the level. Level of the Lich worries me, Jesus.
Why don't you go downstairs to get another coffee now?
Yeah, it's about time, Remo. It's, you know, I missed you so much, and now I'm finally next to you again. I'm overloaded with emotions. My synapses can't catch that.
Yeah, it makes you nervous. You feel the tingling in your belly.
A little bit. I
understand. Panda keeps on creeping, getting close to level 4. This is an amazing position for Kao. If you can start the first fight with a Panda level 4, the likelihood, if this game goes on for the Panda to get 5, is very high. Didn't get the best Panda items. Could have been some sick Lich items, but honestly, you may want to sell these. Cross plus 4 are decent, but not so good on every hero anymore nowadays. Nowadays, it seems like tankiness is what you want, especially with those rings. I still find it kind of crazy that rings plus 5 drop so easily nowadays. It is a thing. It is a thing, and so is the push. 70 supply, we're expecting this. What's the heal scroll count on the undead? 1 only. Alright, this is it, do or die. Labyrinth, this is pretty much all in. Maybe if he has a really good fight, he can fall back and recover. But considering the hero levels, if Kaho holds, I see him winning this game.
Yeah, supply is even moon juice filled to the brim. The hero's looking fine. Kaho in a prime position. Goes with the Coil Nova onto the Demon Hunter. Almost a surround here, but all that damage basically countered by just moon juice. But the Destroyer connection on the Bears is fantastic too.
Playing around the cooldowns, wants to use the next breath of fire. Where's the immolation, by the way? Not turning it on. Of course, it's weaker nowadays, but it's still good damage. The Demon Hunter is full mana. I would have loved to see some more immolation here at the start. But the burns are there, and the DK now is out of mana and doesn't have a mana potion anymore. And this is where the Knight can turn it around. No mana on the undead, no heal scrolls either. And the heroes of the Night Elf looking very strong. Didn't forget about the Orb of Venom. Good damage there as well. Moonwa's perfectly positioned, could heal up nicely as well. He does have a TP to be safe. Mana potion pops that one, kills more fiends. Super solid play by Kao. The game's not over yet. but he has a massive lead.
Yeah, the bears were disappearing quickly, but not quickly enough. The hero carry, especially the panda, and of course the demon hunter is a force to be reckoned with as well. Can't touch him really. It was a nice approach to nuke the demon hunter, but he didn't even need to staff out or get out of the fight. No, he just took a sip and continued on, just like Remo Demo during his vacation. Now the Lich is on the menu. Invo Potion 4 now. Demon hunter under fire. Is that the last hope? No, there's another Invo Potion, 7 seconds safety, and Labyrinth can just run.
Yeah, great game by Kyle. Really liking what he's playing here. Oh, the Demon Hunter! Playing with fire here in the end, but the Rejuve is there when he needs it, going for the Lich, looking for more. Kaho trying to make use of every opportunity. He's got a TP if he really needs it. And this Naga didn't do much, to be honest. She hits the deck here, at least she's going to be revived soon, but it's a 20 supply lead for the Elf. With the expansion with more gold and the stronger heroes, Labyrinth needs more than just one miracle here.
Yeah, he might need to kill 3 bases soon, as Kaho is in position for another expansion in the north. Plays it safe and reestablishes the army back to 80 before, but also to control of the shop. And Labby just trying to level at the turtles, but super bruised. No more statues to heal up and regen at the moment. This is definitely Kaho's game at this point.
Yeah, I feel like Labyrinth made 2 big mistakes this game. The first one was getting distracted by the Demon Hunter and not getting the expansion cancel when he could have with more ghoul involvement and faster movement. And secondly, when he didn't get the expansion finished, or the expansion cancel, I think going for a push like he did is just the wrong call. If you get the expansion cancel on the opponent and you get ahead economically much more and you buy that time for yourself, then your push around 70 is going to hit much harder. But if the Knight of Counter expands as quickly as you saw here, then going for this kind of a push, I think is just incorrect. I think you want to turtle up maybe, go for some Gargs, go for some harass, kill the Wisp, be super annoying, abuse the fact that there's no Shredder on this map, and maybe go for a 3rd base. But yeah, this, honestly, it looked a bit uninspired, what Labyrinth did here. This was super predictable and not perfectly executed either.
And against Kaho, who is, as you said, basically living on this ladder, you need to be creative and at your tip-top level, otherwise he's just gonna rip your head off. He survived the group with Infi, 120 and Lin in TP League, and not only did he survive it, he won that group. And it's a good indicator of how strong Kaho is at the moment.
Yeah, really was one of the big success stories of Warcraft 3 in recent times. A player coming out of nowhere like 2 years ago or something. He was just some random ladder player, a Night Elf, as so many, but it turns out this one can actually play well. And playing very well here indeed.
Stop your Night Elf hate, Remo.
You missed that, didn't you?
No, I did not. No.
Level 5 Demon Hunter. I mean, you can see the confidence here by Kaho. He was playing a defensive game for the longest time as he knew he was going to get pushed, but now the heroes are just completely out of control. With the Panda also close to being level 5. DK almost dead. I mean, the Death Knight not being level 4 at this point just tells you all you need to know. He's going to get it, I guess, in a second, but it is too late and too little.
Oh yeah, Panda hits hard, is closing in on 5 as well, just inches away, 1-2 more kills. That Lich kill would seal the deal, but at this point, it's basically A-click territory. The backline is unharmed, the front line is fiends, and that's never a good thing. And it's getting fried by a level 3 Breath of Fire from here on out. Labyrinth, what can you possibly do?
Think about the next map. That is the best thing at this point. Oh, DK almost going down. Hero still standing, but not much else. Panda now ready to pick up solo experience. Oh, we had some Disease Cloud here. Was there an A-bomb?
There was an A-bomb.
Survived long though. These 2/2 Dryads proving to be quite good. 2 Obvious on the Fiend as well. Oh, that's one hell of a dust. And one hell of a Breath of Fire.
And one hell of a GG.
GG.
As well. Game 1 goes to Kaho. That was also his map pick, as he comes in as the higher seed. And took that map pretty convincingly, right, Qbert?
Just fumbling with the unmute button there for a second. Nice to see the duo back in action, guys. What do you think of that game? Pretty solid indeed by Kaho. He managed to establish the expansion without much delay at all, basically. I think Labyrinth's movement, trying to move the ghouls out onto the map, was the right play, but unfortunately didn't find any value in that whatsoever. Kaho after that, just establishing his second base, creeping up the Panda. It was pretty smooth sailing for him, I thought.
Yeah, no big threat, unfortunately. Echo Isles Labyrinth had some issues there with Lawlight in the past, and Kaho, after that first defense on the right-hand side, looked really good, did all the right steps you have to take to check all the boxes on your flowchart for this matchup, and then there was just his game.
Yeah, despite the fact that in every engagement the Bears were basically melting, the Elf heroes are just carrying all of those fights. As soon as the Bears are gone and the Undead's mana is pretty much eliminated as well, it feels like the back row of Dryads, some Archers, Mercs, and the high-level Elf heroes just carry those engagements. If the Undead has no TP to get out, they just lose units on the way out as well. So feels like Labyrinth perhaps need to try and find some more experience on the map.
Well, hopefully it works out on his map. A map that is almost synonymous with Labyrinth at this point is a map where he oftentimes plays Lich first as well. Maybe it starts with an L as well. Here is Last Refuge.
I'm having quite a bit of spikes here. Is that just me?
That is just you, Remo Demo. Technical difficulties in Warcraft 3 at the moment. It is not that pleasant. Let's be honest. Overlay rip, Remo's ping rip, everything rip.
Rip those jeans. What would be the different server if we're lagging here? I guess in Asia we have a couple of options. Sea and South, maybe? We'll see. But at least we can guarantee good ping for the players, both at around 40. That is pretty nice. And Kaho with a chance to really make his presence known if he wins here as well. Is it going to be Demon Hunter? $100 says yes! I knew it. I'm so good.
Oh, Remo, I missed you so much. That self-confidence. Yeah, I love it. I also love the support for the War 3 Champions Finals because we've had a couple of contributors here boosting the prize pool to 2,667, especially Webinock coming in with a big $60 donation, as well as Miracle buying a Night Elf profile picture. Much love, you guys.
Thank you. Yo, it is the Lich. I think that is very cool. And I think, honestly, this is also the best way to go about dealing with Kaho. Kaho and Colorful, very similar in their styles, in their execution of play, but also mentally, strategically, I feel like. Because they do the best when the game is standard, but throw a wrench in the works, and they kind of struggle. Not so good on the fly, not so quick on their feet normally. And I would love for Labyrinth to play a bit weird here. And Lich is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Oh yeah, he's been very, very successful with that, as we have now everything adjusted correctly as well, I think. Yep, wonderful. So Lich expansion would be the norm. It could also be a tower push, but yeah, Labby, Last Refuge, and the Lich, it's usually a good call sign for an expansion.
And the movement here is going to be really important. The Lich needs to be in the back, throw out 2 Novas, not get burned. If he can manage that, the Demon Hunter is going to be pretty neutered at the start, and the expansion is easy. So, positioning on the heroes and control early on here is crucially important. And so is the Wisp for the detonate. Oh, okay, use the Wisp for the bait. That's also pretty cool. So the Demon Hunter didn't get Nova, and now the burn was active, and the Demon can still stick around a bit. You get the circlet early to have a bit more strength, but of course, importantly, he didn't get immolation. So with mass ghouls, if Labyrinth wants to commit to the expansion, he can get it. The question is just how late is it gonna be?
Oh, Lich under fire. Under quite some fire, actually. Demon Hunter's chasing. Now I'm receiving the spikes as well. You cursed me, Remo Demo. It feels like everything is evening out. In a bit, there we have it. Oh, yes.
I feel like Labyrinth is being punished a bit for not perfect positioning, which was a bit too far forward, and the Demon Hunter, when he was on the approach, the ghouls didn't really block him. That is very hard to do perfectly indeed, but I hate to bring up Happy all the time, but you know, we have seen it achieved at some point. But this is a great early game for Kaho already. The expansion delayed, the Lich is super hurt, the Demon Hunter is level 2 just from the harass, plus the first creep camp, of course. And Is the plan B to tech now? Yeah, it was quite some time ago, I guess. Labyrinth started tier 2, and so did his opponent. But Lich 1 base is not something I'm familiar with.
Well, you're of course very familiar with success, and Lich 1 base is not found in that department, really. Tricky situation. He doesn't have much forces to creep with, very limited amount of ghouls. Skeletons got detonated quite often as well, so Demon Hunter is racing up to a solid level 2 and a bit, despite not really creeping much. Maybe you can play it a little X-Lord-ish and tech on tier 2 on the way to tier 3 or something, but Labby is ready, Kao is ready for that with a hidden archer there.
Yeah, Kao is just playing picture perfect at the moment. All the Night Elf stands in the chat must be very excited. This is truly beautiful, excellent play so far by Kao. Excellent item, at least for the Lich. He got the replenishment potion, something he could desperately use. But this is kind of a scary situation. Of course, the TP was sold earlier. The Lich doesn't have the boots. The Demon does have them. If the Lich finds himself low HP and out of position, he's dead. If the Lich dies, the game's over. And the game plan isn't even clear for Labyrinth. Is he just going to play the normal Fiend, 1 base army, DK second, Naga third, maybe? That means he's never going to get, like, level 2 aura this whole game. Or is he going to go through with the expansion? Perhaps that's the plan. But the Invis Archer, perfectly showing him what's going on. Kaho waiting in the wings at night, ready to ambush. And this is just Kaho all the way so far.
Oh yeah. Including map 1. I really thought this would be a hell of a series, super close, super long games as well, with some cheeky pushes in between. But maybe I continue to underestimate Kaho. He comes in super well prepared. Of course, he had only one matchup to work on, probably, as Happy is waiting, or will be waiting probably in the quarterfinal, or he's ready for the quarterfinal at least. I mean, LeMay is quite an underdog in the upcoming round. That's what I'm talking about.
But he is
a dog. Jesus, Screamo.
Kevin, where you at? I haven't seen Kevin today.
Did you get ambushed by a wild deer while on your sailing trips? Did you carry this hatred on Night Elves forward?
No, I sort of conquered nature, believe it or not. On the second day, when I was super hungover, we climbed a mountain. And halfway up the mountain, I felt like I was going to slip and die. You know, I'm a bit afraid of heights. So I was like, oh shit, this is scary. And then Alex told me, well, Remo, you know, if you want, you could just go back and I'm going to do it alone. And I was like, screw you, mother trucker. And then I did climb that mountain and I almost pooped myself, but it was worth it.
Mom raised no quitter, eh? I wonder if we have a quitter here soon as well, because plan B was also not working out. We have the tier 3 on the way for Kaho. For Labyrinth. For Kaho, also started a little delayed, but he has such an oppressive force here with just a Demon Hunter, Naga, and 2 archers. That's enough. Oh, surround. No, potion.
Staff, mana potion, Nova, something.
Oh.
Ah, he's stuck.
What? Is he? Oh no!
That's the one little hole he could get stuck in.
Did Kao off-race as human, maybe?
I think that's very fair of him, though. He's been noticing how he's been completely demolishing his opponents, so, you know, give a little penalty for yourself, a little handicap.
Well, Zeppelin can be put to good use later on. Oh boy. Still a tough game here. Can we find some time to level Lich and DK and get up to 50? Labyrinth still has a long way to go.
The lab creep camp, a bit scary with the Bloodlust. Retreating now. I guess Lich at least isn't too far behind in experience compared to the Demoner, so we don't see a big discrepancy there. One archer goes down, that's a little whoopsie, but that's okay. You got a big item and it's a great one. The best for the Demoner. With that heal potion, did he sell the gloves earlier? I know, gave them to the Naga, holding on to all the items so far. But indeed, the demon still needs a bit more for that level 3.
Okay, statues are working now, unlike the majority of game 1, so we have a lot of mana to work with, which is always good for Undead, creeping this in quick succession. Now level 2 on the DK, and speaking of quick, the entire army gets a little quicker with the Unholy Aura. This is exactly what you want. Kinda low supply numbers still for such a long game, but the investment was mostly going into tech. Book of the Dead, always a little unuseful here in this matchup. On the other side, we have Boots of Kel'Thuzad.
Those are wonderful. Double boots, exactly what the demon wants. I just realized, by the way, the Lich went Frost Armor on level 2. I mean, not Frost Armor, Dark Ritual, which is normal, right? Lich first does it all the time. That means we won't have Frost Armor late game against Bears and Demon Hunter. That's a big problem. Like, that's a huge freaking problem. That alone, I feel like, increases Kao's win chances by like 15%.
So what are his win chances overall now?
70%? Maybe?
70%. Did you do the Steiner math?
Who's the Steiner?
Oh, I showed you a video about this. He's a wrestler, and he's breaking down his his chance of winning. Now put Kurt Angle in the mix. Your chance of winning drastically go down.
Oh yeah, true.
Internet gold.
Wrestlers, great promoters and great mathematicians.
Exactly. He's from university as well. Something that we can't say about ourselves.
Well, I recently enrolled at the Hustler University, so speak for yourself.
Yeah, I can see that.
Wait, where are the boots of speed? You sell the boots of speed? Okay, Kao, this is how you get on my nasty list. Can't believe it. Didn't even give them to the Naga, I just sold them.
Yeah, maybe he needed something else. Oh, look at this. Coilnova on the Demon Hunters. Fight starts. Master Bears are here. The illusion is soaking up nice damage. Even a Fort Lightning didn't identify this. And the fight is running okay for Kao at the moment. But the DK is super low level. He's the tank now, and he's not that great of a tank. Invo Potion trying to counter that focus. Demon Hunter out of the fight as well. DK still in a big trouble though.
Yeah, Demon was staffed up, but there was no Munches anymore. Oh, Scottish internet again, proving to be problematic. Coil flies, Lich is safe, Fiend goes down, but so does the Bear. The Sacrificial Skull for the Blight is pretty cool here. It's not that much healing, but it's a little bit over time. Demon Hunter comes back. Big bad and ready. But Lich dies before. Nice snipe there with the Chain Lightning, Fog Lightning. DK as well wants to punch the ticket to Nirvana. Can he get away? Perhaps he can. Demon Hunter with the heal potion a bit late. Could have been perhaps getting a bit more involved. But that was a okay fight for Labyrinth. I was thinking he was going to get kind of wrecked there. I think the creeps really helped him out there, with the Bears being busy against those creeps a bit. But yeah, that was better than I thought for Labyrinth. Go Labby.
Okay, where are your chances of winning now? Taking care of the shop on the left-hand side. Love that play to take the Invo Potion away.
You know why he won the fight? I just figured it out. Didn't have the boots anymore. That's right.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah.
In a fight where there wasn't much of kiting going on, etc.
Movement speed, Neo.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
You see how fast we could have gotten off the burn?
Well, I hear some people that want reduce the range of burn. Not sure if that is reasonable.
It's so good. But if you don't make the use of the OP abilities enough. I mean, all memeing aside though, movement speed on the Demon Hunter is so damn good, especially late game against Undead. If you have to fight against this aura without boots, the Demon Hunter really is significantly worse. Like, all memeing aside. Oh, DK, what's he doing there? Oh, very lucky that the Naga wasn't in range. That could have been an easy kill.
Alright. We get one Fiend, pretty much for free, but denied. Retreat for Labby, supply numbers even again, but Labby is in no shape of fighting really, no mana, barely any HP, and that should be the red spot for Kao if he plays it right.
He's trying to bait Labby to engage here, take a superior position. Let me guess, he didn't get Ultravision though. Nope, didn't get it. Waste of money.
It is classic Kaho indeed. More rings might be helpful. These fights so far. Heavy on the heroes, and now there's a backstab by Kaho, just as Night Elves love to play it, to prevent kiting on the undead side. And facing a Dryad Bear army straight up is not what you want.
And you know what he doesn't have? Frost Armor. Bear's getting to connect pretty easily. Wonderful movement by Kaho. Seriously, I think his only mistake this game was selling the Boots of Speed. Everything else is looking damn solid. Nice spreading as well. Damage on the Bears, lands on the Fiends, and going for the heroes after. That's a GG. And Kaho so far schooling his opponent.
Whew, that was a rough one. Despite building in the Demon Hunter, or staffing in the Demon Hunter, and one almost problematic fight on the bottom right-hand side. So convincing, so clean. Love the fight execution. Everything in Kaho's favor so far.
Yep, Kaho pretty much in splendid form. I mean, I think we were all expecting him to do very well in these matches against Labyrinth. Neostradamus striking once again, correctly predicting Labyrinth going for that Lich first, and it just didn't work out. I feel like the Novas in the early game were perhaps not going on the right target. I feel like the Demon Hunter needs to be the target of that, especially when you slow him down. Your ghouls can get a chance to connect more as well. The Lich can also place some more auto attacks. It's very important to try and lower the Demon Hunter's HP as much as possible, even though the Wisp was kind of a juicy target. I think, as Remo pointed out, it was a bit of a bait.
Everything worked out well, and I feel like Labyrinth, he's a man of many tools. He might have to come up with something very, very special here now. The map is Springtime, and Springtime invites you to do something crazy, like, for example, expanding in the middle right away.
Yeah, that's always the cheeky play you can go for in this map. I haven't seen successful too many times, but Labyrinth, I still think he has a good chance just going for something weird. Normally, in most cases, I'm not a big fan of gimmick playstyle, but against some players, especially like Kaho, like Colorful, it is so effective. If you just play the norm, if you just play standard, I think Kaho is just simply going to out-execute Labyrinth. So bust out the wacky bag of tricks, Labyrinth. Show us something weird. I'm down.
All right, Qbert, any last-minute predictions here for Game 3?
I think I will predict that the middle expansion will not be taken this game. Boom.
Not a risk taker, huh? All right. I getcha. We got a 2-0 lead for Kaho, punching for the quarterfinal. Let's see if he can do it, or if you get a series with a Labyrinth win. In the upper left-hand side, he stands tall and with a 2-0 lead. His name is Kaho, and he's facing one of the best undeads in the world, but currently not with a big chance against the Night Elf Sentinel. Labyrinth has to win 3 maps in a row.
That would be quite the impressive comeback. I'm still hoping for something weird. Expand, Garglaive, take a third base. I think that's his best chance. Whoa, I was not expecting this one. Keeper of the Grove, baby.
Oh, Remo, you might have missed it. There's a little bit of a comeback for the Keeper. Moon played it quite a bit. Foggy played it quite a bit. And, that was a funny game by Foggy versus Sheik. Oi. You know, if you want to expand as an undead, it's really not good if 15 Treants knock on your door.
It's absolutely correct. And we see Lich first again. Lich normally considered to be good against Demon Hunter because you Nova him, slow him, right-click him down. He's low HP, he has to bounce. But against Keeper normally, especially not very good because the Lich has a tough time dealing with the Treants. You just put 2 Treants on the Lich, right-click him as well. Lich is low HP, just naturally. So in terms of natural hero matchup, I think this already doesn't look too good for Labby. But maybe with some stellar execution, it can still work. But yeah, this is a matchup that I've seen only very, very rarely. But yeah, when I did, the Lich tended to not do so well. Oh, wait, Lich coming. Going for a tower push.
Here we go, baby!
Did Kaho read this?
Did
Kaho read the tower push and anticipate it with a Keeper? That would be so next level, dude.
It could still be the expansion in the middle, or the tower push.
Wait, is he really gonna do it?
He could
Against the Keeper, bro.
That's... hard.
Forces are under
Lich has 0 experience. He's never gonna get level 3 this whole game.
Detonate.
Detonate. Alright, we got a second skull though. All good. No harm, no foul.
Ooh, this is problematic.
It
And
was a fake expo. Now we go for the real tower push, baby.
but isn't Detonate gonna like ruin this?
Depends.
Yeah, on what?
If we can protect the first ziggurat and that one finishes, you can build ziggurats around it. Where are all the ghouls though? Seems like they're a bit late.
He also has 400 gold.
It's a fake expo into fake tower push into tier 2 tech. Who doesn't know this strat? Come on.
All right, plan A doesn't work. Plan B doesn't work. Plan C might work, but with quite a delay on the tech. But it also forced Kaho to go into a Hunter's Hall, so his tech didn't start yet. And the Keeper couldn't really level at the moment. So it's playable for both.
Dude, credit again to Kaho. He was totally aware that some wackiness, some really weird stuff was going to be happening on map 3, and he got the Keeper the best, strongest early game defense hero, and also push hero. Because the Demon, as strong as he is in the late game, in the early stages, he's very, very susceptible to being cheesed in multiple different ways. I am very impressed with Kaho today. This is excellent play. And now, there's a weird question up in the air. It was a Hunter's opening with a Keeper, but he's facing a Lich. So, what is the follow-up? I guess it still should be an expansion. Keeper is a great expansion hero, but is it mass air? Is it not? I don't know.
Yeah.
a player's forces are under
Mass air against the Lich is also kind of weird. It could be playable, because, you know, Fairy Dragons can't be Nova and all. You could just go for the economy, and that's exactly what Kao is doing here.
And there are no coils. Ghouls are pretty easy to kill. Going for the Lich would be very ambitious. That seems rather unrealistic. I also love the mana restraint by Kaho. A lot of lesser players always blast out their mana. We especially see this with Blade Master play as well. But the experts know when to hold off and save their mana for a more opportune time.
All right, we have a lot of ghouls that Labby can work with for a razor sharp tier 3 timing, or for creeping, or for whatever he wants. In the meantime, there's a tech running 3/4 roundabout. And more creeping. Ooh, the Merc camp.
Look at the creep route. Is this level 3? Plus a Berserker? Oh, that would be such a sick timing. If he gets level 3 here for the level 2 Treants. Level 2 Treants are super good against Undead Expansion. And I think it might just be enough experience.
Well, the big Sasquatch is still up for grabs. Tier 2 is finishing any second for some extra experience. Is he waiting for the tier 2 tech to finish? Nope.
Oh, he's gonna get from the little trapper though.
It's not enough, is it?
Definitely not enough. Wait, this wasn't even close. What? I thought it would be more. Okay. My mistake.
It's okay.
Oh, the Wisp detonated, by the way. Scout Wisp, bottom left. Detonated before the Acolyte got there.
Oh.
Yuckers.
It's all a little bit on the rough side here.
Kao is just 2 steps ahead.
Remo! Remo!
Every moment.
Look at the Hunter's Hall.
Oh my god.
Kao, it's one of these days. Kao,
Can he afford it though? Can he afford those 50 gold, man?
he could. You know what? He could even go for owls.
True. Owls are very cheap nowadays.
You know, they're so cheap. I'm thinking about buying one myself.
Woohoo. Owls are so cool, by the way.
They are.
Super cool animal. Why do people have, like, what are they called? Little parrots and stuff for pets? That's boring. You want to have an owl.
Because they can talk.
I just don't know what Valentine is called in English. That's what I want to say first. I don't know what it's called. Oh. The force of nature rising against the desecrated undead. And that is the power of level 2 Treants. And yeah, this was never going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you can just forget about tier 2 expansion against people. It's just impossible.
This is exactly what Shake played against Foggy, and this is exactly how Foggy punished it. It's different map, but gameplay-wise, very much the same. Now the Lich is in trouble. Keeper is probably closing the door. This Nova doesn't do much. The coil had to be used defensively, so nuke is not really an option.
Surround.
And here comes the Demon Hunter.
Oh, not quite surrounded, but almost. Mana burn, kill. All right, we can close the book on this series, boys. Cow is just playing too good. Labby is not ready. He is fumbling, bumbling at 27 supply, just getting absolutely wrecked. While Cow is making it to tier 3. He's the one who could expand in the middle now, actually. He's completely uncontested at this point.
There's a Wisp. Why not? Well, resources aren't there just yet, but speaking of resources, this was all so expensive, and Labby is of course constantly on tier 2 because he wanted to brute force that second base. Now he's down to 1 crypt and statues and low level heroes, and he's up against an overwhelming force of nature.
Labyrinth is not really looking like Labyrinth today. We've seen him so strong in World Cup Champions before. We've seen him in the WSP finals before.
Wow.
Yeah, he just wants to end his misery. Today was not his day. Labyrinth woke up on the wrong side of the bed or something. But honestly, he may not have played his best, but Kaho played amazing. That was sick. That was super, super, super extremely well done. If he can also hold off against the temptation to sell the Boots of Speed, he may win this tournament.
Yeah, I think you pretty much summarized it. Kaho, it cannot be understated just, it can't be overstated just how well Kaho played despite Labyrinth, not playing his best, not bringing his A game. I thought just the awareness with the Wisps was so sick. When he dettoed Labyrinth's attempt again at his natural, while he was creeping Labyrinth's mercenary, I thought that was just so sick. Like, his awareness and timing is just impeccable.
Okay, I hope that Happy is watching, because that's a possible opponent in the upcoming quarterfinal. Happy has to play as the top seed against the bottom seed, that is LeMay. He's going into this as the clear favorite, so a clash between Happy in top shape and Kaho in top shape is not that unlikely, and Happy has been eliminated by Night Elves before. Small reminder, this is all single elimination, there's no fallback net, no lower bracket, and Kaho is a threat today.